since the beginning of time a race extraordinary has taken care of and protected the humanity these beings known as nobles were revered and mysterious. Among them, one individual stood out for betray, expose, and even eliminate their noble companions. He was known as Noblesse, the personification of noble desire to protect the weak, while throughout history only one person has been able to be a noble. Raizel, considered to be the most powerful in the world, but actually surpassed. However, with immense irresponsible power came a overwhelming loneliness. The root duty is the prevented him from forming genuine connections with the others. The Lord Noblesse constantly tried to warm Raizel's heart, inviting to talk and persuading to become the next lord. However, root is the refused, wishing only to look peacefully out the window until the duty or call one more time. In a fateful night, Raizel's world turned upside down when a visitor unexpected showed up at your house wearing Raizel's clothes. The stranger claimed be your new confused servant. Raizel knew that he had never employed any created at that moment from Teo. Noble colleague entered the room and husband intruder as a wanted criminal in the. However, Raizel felt the wounds of the man, chose to use his powers to turn the fugitive into a servant, ordering in peace. This man was Frank, a human common that sought to challenge the supremacy of the nobles to prove their vulnerability. He killed several nobles and changed himself, becoming the first human enhanced with power that rivaled as the noble race in the 5 next years period, whose root is I never if ventured outside the resentment in relation to the root is the growth among the nobles who disapprove with their relationship with a human. The Lord Noblesse, however, found Frank fascinating, proposed a blood ritual to grant you a longer life and ease the loneliness of Raizel. Others, envious nobles and feeling forgotten, conspired against Frank, luring him into an ambush. Manipulated by his jealousy, Frank released all his power, losing control in the process. Feeling the immense energy, Raizel and Lord Noblesse arrived simultaneously to intervene. The nobles demanded the justice of Noblesse and, coming to punish the way of life, lower root took a step forward, but instead of taking down Frank, he used his power to restore sanity to his servant. Upon waking, Frank took a decision that would change his life. He would form a blood pact with Raizel and would dedicate his life to end the loneliness. The Lord of Werewolves, the only being whose strength the werewolves, as the nobles were protectors of humanity, Mozaka no, however, disappeared to explore the world and satisfy your wanderlust. Now Mozaka has returned with a purpose. He wanted to show something important to Raizel. Leading into the forest, Mozaka introduced Raizel to Ashley, once young human Mozaka discovered during his travels, and shared that the mankind was continually in war with herself, and Ashley had lost his mother in one of those skirmishes. Feeling sorry for the girl, Mozaka put about your protection back home. Raizel was standing by the window when a disquieting sensation rushed over him. Out he found Mosaic hugging a lifeless Ashley in his arms. Mosaic explained that humans attacked, and at that moment he resigned his duty to protect humanity instead. Hence he swore to destroy them. Your friend afflicted, but the emotions of Musaka got out of control, leaving him aggressive. Enraged, he threw the Raizel on the ground, blaming humans for having taken not only Ashley's mother but now Ashley herself, consumed by her thirst for vengeance. Mozaka wanted to make the humanity to pay for the suffering that had caused. Raizel fought to understand the whirlwind of emotions inside Mozaka, being unable to understand everything. Using his power, he contains your friend, expressing his own grief over Ashley's death. He reminded Mozaka that they couldn't interfere in human affairs, even when they hurt each other. Mozaka replied that Raizel did not know the true depths of sadness, revealing that Ashley wasn't just a random year he had found, but she was also his daughter. He had giving up everything to be with her, but in the end he cannot protect her from a tragic fate, robbing her of the chance To find happiness like this, Raizel heart I when he by the end understood the pain that his friend I was feeling overcome by fury. Mozaka raged at the humans who they had taken everything from him by swearing, eradicated humanity by refusing, let them inflict more suffering, transforming into its fearsome form. Mozaka werewolf gathered all strength to break free from the constraints of Raizel going up against his best friend and the attacking with root ferocity is the dodged of the blows effortlessly, but when the Mozaka's anger increased he succeeded, lands several powerful Raizel blows, moved by the anguish of the friend, shed tears of blood and divided, a heartbreaking decision like, help your friend while still keeping his responsibility to protect the humanity at that moment. Friends, but Mozaka regenerated and slashed with his most powerful attack, where the two titanic forces collided, creating a huge sphere of energy that threatened to detonate at any moment. Unfortunately, the confrontation resulted in the end. Tragic from Mozaka tired and hurt. Raizel tried to go back to his mansion, but civilian unable to do this for his body ravaged from the impact of the last attack by refusing to cooperate with the energy ball about to explode. Raizel had no choice but to take action. Drastic summoning what was left of his rail power created a protective casket to himself. Upon entering the coffin he fell into a deep sleep, eventually sinking to the bottom of the ocean 820 years. Then a ship stumbled over the coffin of Raizel hidden in the depths of ocean. Despite your best efforts, the crew was unable to open on the however when moonlight and I don't give the coffin, it opened revealing Raizel fully awake after your century's sleep, curious and eager to explore this unknown world. Raizel ventured out and soon found himself near a busy secondary school. Approaching the building he felt a powerful presence and familiar inside it, where inside he discovered his loyal servant Frank, who had assumed the role of director of the school. Then Raizel, I heard about the dramatic changes in the world during your absence. Intrigued and inspired, he decided to join the school as a student, diving into a normal life while learning about the modern world, embracing its new life. Raizel started every day enjoying Frank's food, passing by some weird happy moments with your new colleagues, but the quiet life from scratch is taking an unexpected turn with the arrival of two new students, Regis and Wax, as these intriguers imagine were nobles who came to investigate the rumors. The resurgence of the coffin of the Noblesse when finding Raizel them instantly recognized your aura, unmistakably impressed by the presence of the Noblesse. Regis and Wax felt admiration and apprehension. They could not pay homage to Raizel, acknowledging your status legendary and the immense power he possessed. Regis and Sarah knew that the new lord hated Raizel but didn't understand why of him being so determined to find out your whereabouts by choosing to take advantage of opportunity for a normal life. They decided to deceive the lord in his report, claiming they were still looking for clues about the coffin of suspicious Raizel. The new lord dispatched his senior subordinate, confidence that to investigate it, showed up at school obliging to be in. Regis, leaving and greets, revealed the many changes that occurred since the sleep of Raizel. Him shared that the former lord had died suddenly 500 years before, leaving her daughter Trax to take over the role. However, his rise to power provoked revolts and betrayals among the noble clans, and Tor believed that Raizel had murdered his father, incited the betrayals by feeding his hated him since I was young because she overheard her father asking the reason for become the next Lord. Geijo Hotel begged the reason to accompany him to prove your innocence, but Raizel, now happy with his new life, he refused the invitation. Seeing the transformation when students started to behave strangely, feeling something Regis and be investigated, discovering that Raizel noble had used mind control on everyone in the Rail school, down the throat, mentioning humans as unworthy of Wax's company, being 500-year-old involuted nobleman possessing the mentality of a child who nurtured An unhealthy obsession bracelet, however. She quickly rejected him and demanded that he left later that night. Raizel sent ahead to deal with Raizel and prevent you from discovering your identity of nobility, but to be intervened to prevent havoc in the city. Raizel takes a document revealing that the new lord had officially summoned to be him. Also revealed that a Jew had been arrested and faced execution for lying to the lord. Upon learning of the arrest, that Jew and the summoning of Sarah, took the difficult decision to return to his homeland. Christmas, determined to resolve the situation and protect your friends. Once inside, Raizel felt a strange energy permeating your home. Intrigued, he followed the power source to your vault room. By unlocking the Raizel camera, discovered something unexpected. The previous Lord Ragnarok's weapon was hidden in his safe. Raizel realized that the old lord must have hidden there while he was hibernating, hiding from others with no other options. Raizel decided to take with him the powerful sword and will follow the meeting of the current lord, prepared to face the challenges that lay ahead. Nobles tried to stop his progress, but Regis and Frank dealt with them. Making way for the route is the advance. Meanwhile, since Teo had been taken by the lord where his execution facing the eternal sleep since, Teo boldly criticized the current lord for his decision to capture, wanted to succeed him since Teo kept saying it's in the suitability, led to the betrayal of the other leaders of the clan and she was unfit to be his lord. His words ignited her rage, and she summoned her spiritual weapon to run from Jew herself. When she was about to serve the sentence, Raizel entered the room, stopping her at the midway. Raizel informed the lord, who didn't want her to execute no one when he approached her. The noble clan leaders blocked your way and attacked him. Despite his efforts, and attacks were unsuccessful. Effect on Raizel, the second and third leader. They tried their luck but also were easily repelled or had your barriers broken. The nobles decided to attack together but used his power to force them to kneel with the mind control. I seized the opportunity to explain the system hierarchic of the nobles, detailing the differences in roles and power between the lord and the nobleman. In this, lord intervened, trying to use your control power blood against Raizel. However, he prevented effortlessly. She tried to cut him with her sword, but he took it with the fingers and deflected his fueled attack for the motive of destroying the one who she believed she had ruined her life. She launched a series of attacks, but Raizel remained and disturbed him, questioned himself in detour and his weakness and total lack of power, which led to unleash your field attack. Most potent blood where root is the destroyed without even moving. Witnessing this, the lord trembled with fear, wondering how the difference in power of them could be so big. When frightened, she remembered her father asking for Raizel to become the lord. Instead of her, the other dual leaders stood in front of her to offer support and confronted once again, and Raizel explained that until he learned to control her true power, she never would be able to harm him. While the nobles attacked totally were quickly defeated, the lord against the Raizel's words deciding to end the Raizel confrontation unleashed his mighty field of blood against the dual leaders. In response, the lord gave a step forward, motivated by the vision of her people fighting for her, and released her own field of blood, getting inflict a small cut on the face of Raizel. Exhausted, the lord collapsed and Raizel left, approached her, extending her arm. Analyzing her power, the lord defeated, prepared for the punishment of the Noblesse. Instead, the weapons merged into one image of the former lord appeared before them, explaining Raizel's innocence and revealing her last wish. In the sequel, all nobles are trained and Raizel returns to your normal life along with Wax and Regis. Ends the video. If subscribe to the channel to receive several others. See you in the next one.